Today on Reese Dixon, we are making this old-fashioned Christmas shadow box. Hi everybody, it's Teresa with ReeseDixon.com. This ornament is actually the ornament that started me down this path. I saw a version of this at Pottery Barn and I took one look at it and thought, oh my gosh, that's the easiest thing in the world. I'm totally not paying 12 bucks for that. And it's true, it's ridiculously easy. And so this ornament basically set everything else off. So let me show you how ridiculously simple it is so that you don't have to pay 12 bucks either. So for starters, you need something to act as your shadow box. I found these little mailing boxes at Joann's. They're like in the card section. And when you pop it open, there you go, you got two. So when I bought them, they came 2 to a pack, and then you get 2 ornaments out of each one, so that's 4. And then I painted the inside. I actually use a chalkboard paint because I just happen to have it on hand, but you won't be using chalk on this, so black paint will work just fine. So I'm just gonna give this a little squirt and start painting. And I want to take it right up to where the paper covers. I want to try and do this as neatly as possible. With that layer of paint dry, I want to neaten up the edges. And so I'm taking this fabric paint that's a little iridescent. It's called White Mist is the color that I'm using. And I'm going to use this to just draw a line right where my chalk meets the paper, just to kind of give it a nice little finished look. With my fabric paint dry, now I'm ready to add my holiday message. I went to my computer and printed off a font that I liked, and I'm going to replicate this by hand. Now, I do not draw, so it's just a matter of breaking it down step by step to make this. But there's a million different ways that you can do this if you want to. You can trace it on, there's so many different ways to transfer an image on. You can use vinyl, you can use stickers, whatever your heart's content. But since I'm gonna be using this little paint pen right here, let me get my paint going, and I'm just gonna draw this font on, maybe, if my paint pen will cooperate. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is add a top and bottom line. This will help me to make it so that my letters don't go on slanted, and will help me keep everything controlled. So what I'm actually gonna do is just use, where's my lid? I'm gonna use another one of these boxes and just, I wanna, let's see, leave room. So you can see, like everything I do, I'm just eyeballing. I'm not taking the time to make sure this is level or anything like that. If that's important to you, by all means, but I'm not gonna take the time to bother. And then just trace one line and then go down a couple inches and make my next line. Okay, so you can see it's not perfect, but that's okay. That's not what I'm going for. I'm going for homemade. If I wanted it to look like it came out of a machine, I'd just go buy the one from Pottery Barn. So with my lines done, now I'm gonna write Happy Holidays. I'm gonna write my message in between. I'm gonna start by just doing plain block letters, but leaving myself enough room to add the little tails, what's called serifs, on the bottoms of each one. So I'm just gonna write Happy Holidays directly on here. Okay, see? Just plain old boring block letters. You can do that part, right? So now, you can see on my sample font, these have those little triangles on the tops and bottoms of each letter. So copying my example, I'm gonna do is cross those letters, and then from this point, just connect it. And that becomes your little triangle. right? So I'm gonna copy my font and do that for each letter. Okay, there we go. Now, there's just one more thing I want to do with this paint pen before I put it away and go to a smaller gel pen, and that's just a row of dots along the top and the bottom. So you can stop here, or maybe the font that you've chosen has a totally different look and you're on your own path, but for me, I am going to continue following this font that I've chosen, and this one includes a drop shadow, which means that there's a little line underneath that font as if a light is casting down on it, and it just gives it a little more dimension and makes it look a little more polished when your project's finished. So I'm going to take a gel pen, because it makes a thinner line, and copy this, this drop shadow. And you'll see what I mean when I finish. Here is my finished message, and you can see now that little drop shadow, that's that extra little line that you just add to, you know, the same side of each letter. So, but that's all optional. Like I said, you could just stick a sticker on this and call it good. So now it's time to add our three-dimensional elements. This is some stuffing that you use for like pillows and stuffed animals and that kind of thing. And I just have a very thin layer that I'm going to stretch out, and I'll just put my glue down right here while I'm talking about it. Now I have very calloused fingers, so I can basically touch this glue and be just fine. You should be very careful because the glue will seep up through this stuffing. So I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in that corner. Maybe you would want to use like a pencil or an eraser, you know, something that you can protect your fingers from, because like I said, I have no feeling left in mine. There we go, get that all tucked in. And then, just to finish my little winter scene, I'm gonna add some bottle brush trees right there. Squish that down, because with the batting you might not get an easy adhere to that bottom, so make sure that you get that nice and firm in there. And then I'm gonna add a little one to go right next to it. I've got this lovely velvet ribbon. It works so great with this craft paper box and this traditional look. Whoop. So I'm going to make a loop like so, and then with a little hot glue, remember, watch your fingers, I'm going to put it right on the top of the box like so. See, I literally just put my hand on hot glue and I have like no fingerprints left at this point. Okay, there's our hanger, but that's not very cute. So now we're going to make a little bow out of that same red velvet. So leave a little room for your tail and then make your 2 loops. Just trying to get my loops even here. There we go. I'm going to add a little more glue right there to stick my bow to. I just gave the ends a little trim there. I got to clean up a couple of glue strings and we're all done. So it's so simple, just a little paint, and the most complicated part of this whole project was doing the lettering. And if you really don't want to do that, just get stickers, get a piece of vinyl, and the rest is just as simple as pie. And I think that it creates a really adorable look for maybe a couple of dollars. I mean, I think if I really broke it down, maybe it would be $5, but it's still a huge savings from what you get at the fancy mall stores. And this has your own personal touch. So I hope that this was inspiring for you, that you'll give it a try to make something yourself this Christmas season. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I will do my very best to help you out. Help me out by subscribing to the channel and sharing these videos so that you can see all the great stuff I've got coming up. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.